Hello everybody and welcome to this short and sweet everyday vinyasa flow that's designed to make you feel your best. My name's Ollie, that's Kimmy. As you can see, she's already enjoying a nice long shavasana, and that could be you if you make it to the end of practice. Like I said before, this is going to be a short class. We're going to be moving for about 20 to 30 minutes. So if you enjoy my style of teaching and feel like you want a longer class, then click the link in the bio below and head over to my Patreon, where all of my classes are at least 1 hour long. You don't really need any props today, but if you have a couple of yoga blocks lying around, you might want to go and grab them now. And then we're going to go ahead and get started in a child's pose. Okay, so when you're ready, let's find our way into that child's pose. Big toes together, knees apart. Walk the hands forwards. Rest the forehead down to the ground. Close down the eyes. As we take a moment here in stillness to settle in and arrive fully on our yoga mats before we start to move our bodies. Feel the support from the ground beneath you. Notice the parts of the body which are touching the yoga mat. And then bring your attention towards the breath. With each inhale, the lungs expand and push into the inner thighs. And with each exhale, the tension within the body releases and that belly draws down towards the floor. And then all together, let's take a deep inhale through the nose, fill the lungs all the way up to capacity. And then exhale, sigh it out the mouth. Now seal the lips and begin to establish a steady rhythm of breath, gently moving in and out through the nose. A rhythm of breath that you feel like you can maintain throughout the practice today. Now, keeping that steady breath moving, let's blink open the eyes and begin to make our way into an all-fours position. Tabletop pose, hands beneath the shoulders, knees beneath the hips, untuck the toes, and then straight away as you inhale, begin to drop the belly for a cow pose. Take a moment here to feel the backward bend, the collarbones broaden, the inner elbows draw forwards. Take another inhale here. And then exhale, begin to round the back for cat pose, push into the ground, protract the shoulder blades, tuck the tailbone, and draw the chin towards the chest. Inhale, drop the belly for cow pose. And then exhale, round the back. 2 more times, inhale. And exhale. Inhale, feel that spinal flexion. And then exhale, round the back, feel that extension. Let's find our way back into a neutral table. Tuck the toes under, and then walk the hands back towards the knees, sit back onto the heels, start to shake out the wrists. And then bring the hands to heart center, interlace the fingers, and begin to roll out the wrists. You can go clockwise or anti-clockwise, it doesn't matter. You just want to take a moment here to warm up the hands and the wrists before we put any weight on them. Okay, release, shake out the hands once more. And then we're going to find our way into a downward facing dog. So send the hips to the sky, tuck the toes, keep the knees bent for now, and then intuitively start to move around in any way that feels good. Maybe pedal out the heels left and right, scan the body, and welcome to whatever you're feeling. Understanding that whatever you're feeling has a place on your yoga mat and has a place within your practice. So no resisting anything, no pushing away, Just take a moment to look inwards and choose to work with yourself rather than against yourself. That's really the whole point in these practices. Gradually start to slow down any movements. As we find stillness here in this downward facing dog, spread the fingers wide, push into the palms, lift the hips to the sky, and then allow the heels to be heavy as they draw down towards the yoga mats. And if the heels don't touch the floor, then don't worry about it. It took me about 2 years of practicing yoga every single day before I could bring my feet all the way down to the floor in a downward facing dog. So again, just work with whatever you've got. Let's take one more inhale here in downward facing dog. Really push into those palms, reach the hips back. And then exhale, walk the feet forwards in between the hands, about shoulder width apart. Again, keep the knees bent as we make our way into a forward fold. Let the upper body be heavy, maybe grab onto opposite elbows. And slowly begin to straighten the back of the legs as you feel this nice deep stretch for the whole back line of the body. Breathe into that space that you begin to create. And then bring the hands down in front of the feet. And as you inhale, halfway lift, come onto the fingertips, or maybe bring the hands towards the shins. Try to find a nice flat back shape. And then exhale, forward fold. 2 more times. Inhale, lift the chest. Then exhale, let it go. 1 more time. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. This time as you inhale, circle the hands all the way up to the sky. Reach the fingertips up, maybe the palms touch. And then exhale, forward fold, hands down to the floor. Inhale, lift the chest. Then exhale, step the feet back into a plank pose, and on the same exhale breath, begin to lower down to the ground. Untuck the toes, and then keep the hands beneath the shoulders. Inhale, lift the chest for a baby cobra. Engage the glutes, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Reach the toes back. Then exhale, lower down. 2 more times. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, dissolve. Inhale, pull the chest up. Maybe you can come up a bit taller this time. Exhale, release down. 1 more time. Inhale, lift the chest. Maybe come into an upward facing dog, so the thighs lift off the ground. Engage the glutes. And then tuck the toes. Begin to send the hips back to the sky for a downward facing dog. So that sequence that we move through there is called a sun salutation. And now we're going to move through about 4 more repetitions of those as we begin to connect breath to movement, as we begin to work with the breath and establish our vinyasa. So 1 breath, 1 movement. Take an inhale here in downward facing dog, and then exhale, walk the feet forwards. Inhale, halfway lift. Come onto the fingers or the shins. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, circle the hands all the way up to the sky. And then exhale, forward fold, hands to the floor. Inhale, lift the chest. And then exhale, step the feet back and lower down to the ground. And then inhale, lift the chest up for a cobra or an upward facing dog. Exhale, send the hips to the sky, downward facing dog. Hold as you inhale and breathe into the back of the legs. And then exhale, step or jump to the front of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, fingertips reach. Then exhale, dissolve down. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale, place the hands, step or jump back and lower down. Inhale, pull the chest up, heart forwards. Exhale, hips to the sky. Take an inhale here, breathe into your downward dog. Exhale, step or jump forwards. Then inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, drop the heads. Inhale, Urdhva Hardasana. Exhale, take the plunge. Inhale, flood the lungs. Exhale, step or jump back, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, draw the heart forwards, engage the glutes. Exhale, send the hips to the sky. One more time, take an inhale here in downward facing dog. Exhale, step or jump. Inhale onto the fingers. Exhale, release the head. Inhale, circle those hands up gracefully. Exhale, dive down slowly. Inhale, lift up yogaliciously. Then exhale, step or jump back strongly. Inhale, push into the palms, lift the chest up high. Exhale, send the hips to the sky. Take an inhale here, breathe into the back of those legs, push into the palms. And then exhale out the mouth, let it go. Beautiful work, everybody. Let's take one more inhale here in a downward facing dog. And then exhale, walk the feet forwards. Inhale, lift the chest up halfway. And then exhale, forward fold. Bring the hands behind the lower back, interlace the fingers so the knuckles face upwards, and then begin to straighten those arms and allow those shoulders to draw forwards down towards the ground. Shift the weight into the heels. Allow all that tension within the shoulders to drop down to the ground. Take one more inhale here. Exhale, release the hands down to the floor. And then inhale, bend the knees, reach the hands to the sky. Exhale, bring the hands down to heart center, prayer pose in front of the chest. Stand up nice and tall. Begin to shift the weight into the left foot. And then draw that right knee up towards your chest, so you're balancing on the left foot. And using the assistance of your hands, bring the right foot to the inside of the left thigh for a tree pose. Maybe bring the right foot down to the left shin. Push into the palms. Chest up nice and tall as you inhale. And then as you exhale, begin to peel that right knee back to open up the hip. Bringing your gaze to one point in front of you, focusing on your drishti, your point of balance and focus. And then continuing to balance on that left leg, draw the right knee to the chest, take an inhale, and then exhale, warrior three, reach the right heel back, level off through the hips, point the right toes to the ground, push into the palms, slightly lift the chest up as if you're doing a cobra. Take one more inhale, and then exhale, bend the left knee, step the right foot all the way back. Inhale, circle the hands to the sky for a crescent pose. Drop the hips low, establish your foundation, keeping that right leg as straight as you can, left knee bending just above the left heel. Take one more inhale here, and then exhale, plug the right heel, open the shoulders, hands to shoulder height. For warrior two, gaze comes over that left middle finger. Turn the left palm to the ceiling, reach forwards, and then as you inhale, reverse warrior, right hand down to the right leg, reach the left fingertips back. And then exhale, bring the left forearm on top of the left thigh, left palm facing the sky. And inhale, reach the right fingertips forwards for a side angle pose. Start to establish that nice diagonal shape from the right heel all the way to the fingertips. And then inhale back to a warrior two. From here, straighten that left leg. Turn the left toes forward so the feet are facing the right edge of your yoga mat. Turn the heels in and begin to squat down into those hips. Bring the hands to heart center for a horse stance, a slight tuck in the tailbone. Drop the hips down as low as you can, take an inhale. And then exhale, reach the hands away from you. Inhale, bring it back. Exhale, reach away. One more time, inhale. Exhale. Then inhale, bring it back. Reach the hands up to the sky. Straighten the legs. Turn the heels out. And begin to fold down to your own degree as we make our way into a standing straddle forward fold. Toes turn in, heels turn out. And take whatever variation that you want to within the arms. So maybe bring the elbows down to the ground. Maybe grab onto both legs behind the ankles. And let the upper body be heavy. Relax those hips. Sink into the pose. Breathe into the space that you're creating within the back of the legs. And then bring the hands back beneath the shoulders. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bend the right knee, squat down into a Skandasana. And then lower the left hip all the way down to the ground. Readjust on your yoga mat so you're facing forwards. And then we're going to take that right foot, place it to the inside of the left thigh. Inhale, reach the hands to the sky. And then exhale, fold forwards over the left leg, hands down to the floor. Walk the hands forwards. Maybe grab onto the bottom of that left foot. And close down the eyes for a moment. And then you might notice that as we move through the practice that things begin to change on the physical level. The muscles start to fatigue, the body starts to shake, the sweat starts to drip. But the real goal is to make sure that one thing stays the same, and that one thing is your breath. Steadily moving in and out through the nose. If you had the eyes closed, blink them open, and begin to walk the hands back towards the hips. And then we're going to find our way back into a Skandasana. So you can either use the hands or maybe you can test your mobility and make your way back into that deep squat position without using the hands. Take an inhale here, and then exhale, move forwards to the front of the yoga mat, hands down to frame the left foot, come onto the right toes, step the left foot back for a plank pose, and let's take a couple of breaths here. So make sure that the plank pose is solid. Push into the palms, protract the shoulder blades, engage the core, tuck the tailbone, and then breathe into that core, solid like a rock. Then on your next inhale, shift the shoulders forwards, come onto the tippy toes, and then exhale, begin to lower down to the ground, untuck the toes, inhale, lift the chest for a cobra, breathe into the lungs, and then exhale, send those hips to the sky for a downward facing dog. Take a huge inhale through the nose, and then exhale out the mouth, let it go. So we're going to move through that sequence on the opposite side, and then we'll come down onto our yoga mats for some static stretches. So just remember, if that body starts to talk to you and things become challenging, that those deep stretches are waiting for you on the other side. Just take an inhale here in a downward facing dog, then exhale, step or jump forwards to the front of the mat. Inhale, come onto the fingertips. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, circle the hands all the way up to the sky. And then exhale, bring the hands down to heart center in front of the chest. Shift the weight into the right foot. Draw the knee towards the belly and then find your way into a tree pose on the opposite side. So bring that left foot to the inside of the right thigh, or maybe down to the right shin. You just take it step by step, breath by breath, and everything should fall into place. And then once you've established your pose and you've found your balance, bring that gaze to one point in front of you and try to be as still as you can. Pull the chest up And then draw that left knee back to open up the left hip, ever so slightly, ever so subtly. And then come back to your drishti, that one point of focus. Draw the left knee to the chest, point the toes down, take an inhale, and then exhale, warrior three, reach the left heel back, level out through the hips, left toes point down towards the ground, pull that chest up slightly, take an inhale, and then exhale, bend the right knee, step the left toes all the way back, and then inhale, circle the hands to the sky for a crescent pose, drop the hips low, reach the fingers high, establish that solid foundation within the feet and the hips. Take an inhale, reach the hands up, maybe lean back, and then exhale, plug the left heel, warrior two, hands down to shoulder height, gaze comes over that right middle finger, turn the right palm to the ceiling, reach it forwards, and then inhale, reverse the warrior, left hand down to the left calf or the left hamstring, grab onto whatever you can, and then exhale, side angle pose, right forearm to the top of the right thigh, right palm to the sky, left fingertips reach forwards, and then inhale, back to your warrior two, straighten the right knee on an exhale, turn the right toes to face the left edge of the yoga mat, turn the heels in, the toes out, begin to squat down into your horse stance, bring the hands to heart center, push into the palms, take an inhale here, and then exhale, reach those hands away. 2 more times, inhale, gather the energy, exhale, reach it back, inhale, bring it back to center, exhale for expansion, inhale for consolidation, circle the hands up to the sky, straighten the legs, turn the heels out, and then begin to fold down between the legs. Readjust on your yoga mat to find that nice, comfortable, wide stance. Turn the heels out, keep the toes pointing in slightly. And sink into the pose, explore the pose, and breathe into the back of those legs. Wherever you are, let's bring the hands back down beneath the shoulders. Inhale, come onto the fingertips, lift the chest up halfway. And then exhale, begin to squat down to the back, deep into that left leg, straighten the right leg. And then drop the sit bones all the way down to the ground. Readjust on your yoga mat. Take that left foot, place it on the inside of the right thigh. Point the right toes towards you. Inhale, circle the hands up. Exhale, fold down, deep over that right leg. Maybe grab onto the bottom of the right foot. Close down the eyes. And draw the energy back inwards for a moment. Notice any changes taking place within the body. Give that hamstring a nice deep stretch. Blink open the eyes. Slowly, slowly, slowly start to walk the hands back to the hips. Sit up nice and tall. And then we're going to find our way back into that skandasana, that low lunge at the back of the yoga mat, either using the hands or not using the hands. Just safely and intelligently find your way there. Take an inhale here in skandasana. And then exhale, move forwards. Hands down to frame the right foot, step the right foot back, plank pose as you inhale, push the ground away, tuck the tailbone, engage the core, and then exhale, bend the arms, lower down to the ground halfway, and then push it back up to a plank pose. Let's do 2 more, bend the arms, push it up, bend the arms, Push it up, drop the knees down to the ground, and send the hips back for a child's pose. Bring the forehead down to the ground, and come back home. Back to where we started, all the way back at the beginning of class. From here, let's shift into a tabletop. And now you're going to like this one. This is a really cool stretch that I enjoy doing in my personal practice. As you inhale, begin to reach the left hand up to the sky. And then exhale, thread the left hand beneath the right armpit. Reach the fingertips as far forwards as you can. Drop the left palm down to the ground, the left elbow, the left shoulder down to the floor. Maybe reach that right hand forwards. Glue that left shoulder to the ground and pull the hips back for a deep shoulder stretch on the left side. Maybe you feel this in the lats, deep into the left side of the rib cage. Just close the eyes and enjoy the pose. Find your edge. Breathe into the space. Take advantage of all the warmth that we've created so far in this practice. And then slowly release. Let's come back into a tabletop pose. Take an inhale, drop the belly for a cow pose. Exhale, round the back for a cat. Back into a neutral table. Inhale, reach the right hand to the sky. Let's do the opposite side. Thread that right arm through. Place the right palm, the right elbow and the right shoulder down to the ground. Place the left hand forwards. Glue the right shoulder to the floor. And gently pull the hips back for that beautiful shoulder stretch on the opposite side. Maybe you can bring the gaze beneath the left shoulder as you encourage a subtle twist within the torso. Let's take about 2 more breaths here in this pose. And then slowly make your way back into a tabletop. Hands beneath the shoulders. Tuck the toes under, send the hips to the sky. For a final downward facing dog, reach the hips back, sink the chest through the shoulders. And then exhale, walk the feet outside the hands for a yogi squat. Take a seat, turn the toes out, the heels in. Hands to heart center, elbows push into the inner thighs. Hold the chest and the head up high as those hips sink nice and low. And then begin to lower the hips all the way down to the ground. Make your way down onto your back. Keep the knees bent. And then let's draw those knees into the chest. Grab onto the shins, give yourself a nice big squeeze. And guess what, everybody? You made it to the end of practice. Let's take one more deep inhale here. Fill those lungs up as you squeeze and contract the body. And then exhale, release everything down to the ground. As we find our way into a corpse pose, Shavasana. Allow the hands and the feet to fall open in a natural, comfortable way. Close down the eyes. Let go of controlling the breath. And this might be the most important pose of a class because it has nothing to do with the physical and everything to do with the subtle. So sink in, relax, and enjoy your Shavasana. Stay here for as long as you want. Maybe stay here for 5 or 10 minutes. Thank you for practicing with me today. I'm gonna close off this class in about 60 seconds or so. So have a great rest of your day, and as always, Namaste.